Good evening, everyone. We are here to preview the return games today. Beginning today, you're going to have all the return games in the IPL. The first of the return games is game between two teams who are technically owned from the same city. You're talking about the Sunrisers Hyderabad versus the Chennai Super Kings. The owners of both teams stay hardly 500 meters apart from each other. So it's called the MRC Nagar Derby as per the Chennai norms and the Hyderabad norms. An interesting game 12 days back when these teams met for the first time. The fortunes were different, and now you're seeing the Sunrisers marginally ahead when compared to CSK. Could there be a CSK comeback, or would SRH go all out and win this game? We'll have to wait and watch. In case you do like my videos, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And now we are going to look at the SRH team for today. They're coming back to Dubai. It's a ground of happy memories because they beat the CSK and sort of gained some momentum that carried them forward into this tournament. What is different between the team that played CSK last time to this time? There's no Bhuvneshwar Kumar. It was in fact that game where Bhuvneshwar Kumar first struggled to get some. He was struggling a bit while bowling the penultimate over, which sort of uh, got a lot of fears for the SRH team. Unfortunately, Bhuvneshwar Kumar is out of the tournament. So, do they have those changes? Yes, they've managed to cover that Bhuvneshwar Kumar gap pretty well. From a batting order perspective, the dependence is obviously on Johnny Bairstow and David Warner. They've both got some runs. The good thing is Bairstow had an excellent knock 2 games back. Warner played well. The good thing for the SRH is Manish Pandey has come into form. The only thing they'll be a bit worried about is going to be Manish Pandey's strike rate. It's hovering around the 115s and 125s. They would want him to get to that 135s and 140s from a strike rate perspective, because he playing with that kind of a strike rate will help them get those 10-15 runs extra, which is always crucial in a T20 game. Kane Williamson, a completely different role to what was there in the last 2 years that we've seen of. He's coming towards the fag end of the innings and has played those quick fire 25s and 20s. It's helped them, but I still feel he might be a better number 3 than a number 4. Priyam Garg has done well. He's got his chances. It was good to have Vijay Shankar back last game. Maybe they felt that Abdul Samad and Abhishek Sharma were doing similar roles. So get in Vijay Shankar. Will they be tempted to play Abdul Samad today because he's a pinch hitter? I somewhere still feel that they might want to continue with Vijay Shankar. He's also handy with 2 or 3 overs that he can bowl. And his slower variations in a Dubai pitch that's getting slower by the day is only going to help. Abhishek Sharma has done well. Rashid Khan obviously is a trump card there. His 4 overs is as invaluable as it can be imagined. He's done extremely well. His economy is only of around say less than 5, which is quite astonishing for a T20 bowler. And then you've got Sandeep Sharma, who's done decently well. Sandeep Sharma picks up big wickets. It'll be interesting to see if Sandeep Sharma goes up against Shane Watson, because he can just bowl that slightly wider length and get Shane Watson out. Khalil has done well in patches. He's a bit expensive, but had a few good games. The last game, unfortunate that he couldn't finish it off well for the SRH, but I think he's getting into the groove. And T Natarajan, I think he's a revelation. To see someone who's come up the ladder, come up the curve, and done so well. His dedication, he just knows one way to bowl, and that's Yorkers. He's done well. The bowling looks pretty much set despite Bhuvneshwar Kumar not making it. The battings depend on those top 3 players who are as essential as it is for SRH. If SRH can combine the efforts, I somewhere still feel that today's match SRH are the favourites to win, surely going by the positive momentum that they're carrying into this game. So this is going to be my team for SRH for today. And now we are going to look at the squad for today's game for the men in yellow, one of the champion sides. Unfortunate that they've been in such a bad position. They've been in the last 2 positions, have not got any sort of momentum, had 2 good games, and then they've lost terribly, missed out a couple of games that could have closed their way. Then they lost a game by such a comprehensive margin versus the RCB. Chennai don't look like the Chennai of the years that we know by. Is it a transition period, or is it just a one-off case? You don't know. But what's in store for Chennai? The good part is none of the IPL teams are knocked out of the tournament. Mathematically, any team, right from Kings 11 or Chennai, who are the bottom of the table, to Mumbai or Delhi, can qualify into the playoffs. Just that the road to the playoffs now get much tougher. For Chennai, it's about winning the next 5 or 6 games, or possibly all the games, to maybe say get a content for the top 2 spots, which can be impossible or can be possible. But for today's game, what would be there, or what is it that the Chennai has to do better, has to be their intent. I think somewhere the getting in of Jagdishan helped, But the sad thing is you can't play an opening batsman at number 4. I think it doesn't help there because Jagdishan is an out and out opening batsman. So how do they rejig their order? I somewhere feel it's better if they go with Shane Watson and Jagdishan to open. What this also can give is, if they can give Jagdishan the license to just say go and play, score your runs, be it slog or play proper cricketing shots, it's fine. That will allow Watson to settle in and then carry on. This way they get one batsman to go further. This was a strategy that Kolkata Knight Riders used against Chennai, wherein they got Rahul Tripathi to open and he went slam bang right from the word go. What it helped is it got Shubman Gill gradually getting into the game. So if they can get Jagdishan and Watson to open up, get Faf at one down. Faf has been their best player till date. He's in fact amongst the top 5 in terms of runs scored in this year's IPL. So despite a team not performing well, you have someone like a Faf who's done well. So he coming in at number 3 would be more of an insurance there. And after that, I somewhere feel that the team needs to use players as floaters. I think there's no point in having a fixed number 4 because somewhere you do find that yes, MS Dhoni got that 1-6 in the last game. He was not looking rusty. But I think if the third wicket or the second or the third wicket is going to fall at around the 12th or the 13th over, then I wouldn't mind having Sam Curran come in there. The reason is purely simple. Sam Curran would be an unexpected entry at that point of time. It could throw the opposition captain's plans into jeopardy. So that way, getting in him would also mean that he gets an additional 15-20 runs of just 3 or 4 balls or say of 7 balls. So that can make a huge difference. And then you have anyway, in case there's an early wicket falling, you can get an Ambati Rayudu at number 4, Dhoni at number 5, and Jadeja and Sam Curran coming in at number 6 and number 7. Well, what happens to Bravo now? I somewhere feel for this game, Bravo has not had much of batting time, and I don't foresee him to play much as a batsman. If they're only going to use him as a bowler, then I am going to straight away get a swap there, get in Imran Tahir for Bravo. All the stadiums there, you've seen more than 7 or 8 matches being played. It's in the second half of the tournament. The pitches are slowing down. Even while bowling first, you do find the pitches to slow down. And CSK unfortunately haven't batted first in this tournament. So that's never been an opportunity for them. But if they're still going to bowl first today, basis the toss, I think getting in Imran Tahir makes a lot of sense. He's a bowler who can exploit these conditions. Imran Tahir and Karan Sharma in the middle overs, those 8 overs, even if they concede anything less than 50 or 45 runs, then they can, and they're not going to just concede 45 runs, they'll also get in 2 or 3 wickets, which means they can put the SRH batting order into deep trouble. So that's where I'm going to look at a swap between a Dwayne Bravo and an Imran Tahir. Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur have done a fine job. The good improvement has actually been Shardul Thakur bowling well, picking up those wickets. He does tend to be expensive, but the important thing is he's getting wickets at crucial times and he's getting big wickets. And Deepak Chahar, if he can just contain Johnny Bairstow and Warner and get one of them or both of them out, then you're looking at a good start for CSK. All in all, it's about intent, basically having a better start, slightly rejigging their batting order, and I think in a bigger ground like Dubai, it's important they run twos. Kohli just showed it in the finest of forms there. He ran a lot of twos. In fact, had he had a better partner, he would have ran a 3 also. That is the kind of fitness that they need. CSK unfortunately don't have that, but they need to convert those ones into twos. This is going to be my squad for today's game for CSK. It's a tough game for them. They are not going to be favorites, but if they do win, then you're going to see some kind of a resurrection coming their way. So here's my squad for today's game. And now we are going to look at the matchups here. Not many, but then within a game like this, you do expect certain champions to rise. One clear matchup is going to be how CSK batsmen tackle Rashid Khan. Rashid's got the wood on MS Dhoni that everyone's aware of. Rashid versus Shane Watson is another interesting battle. If Shane Watson can be contained by Rashid, then obviously Shane Watson is going to lose his wicket there. Otherwise, he might just do a repeat of what he did 2 years back in the IPL final. Would that happen? We'll have to wait and watch. The second matchup is going to be how the opening batsmen of SRH tackle the initial swing from Deepak Chahar. I've witnessed that in the initial 2-3 overs in Dubai, there is a bit of swing and the ball does swing around, and that will be of help for Deepak Chahar. He's got Bairstow out that way, he's got Aaron Finch out that way. So it will be interesting to see how he does it to both David Warner as well as to Johnny Bairstow, because if they can get those 2 early wickets, it's an altogether different game. Else, SRH is going to go all out. So in that way, these are the 2 great matchups. 2 teams, a win here would at least try to resurrect their form in the coming few days. It's an important game for both teams. being played at the same ground. SRH have happy memories. SRH seem to be favorites. You never discount the CSK. All in all, seems to be an interesting game. Let's have a great game today. All the best to both teams. May the best team win.